Hi everyone, I hope life is treating you kindly. I'm Lubomira and thank you for joining me today. Welcome to all my crafty friends, new and returning. I always look forward to this time of the week when we get together for some crafting fun. Now that you're here, please like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. By hitting that little bell, you'll get notified every time I post something new and you won't miss out on any of the crafty goodness. Thank you for all those lovely Valentine wishes last week. I hope your week this week is going well. Mine was a little hectic. I have an uncooperative furball with an ear infection, a brother with a flu, which I've been avoiding like the plague not to catch it myself. Every time I've gotten sick in the past few years, I have either my brother or my husband to thank. So there's that. And then there was my car that needed to go into the shop for a busted catalytic converter. Thankfully, that was still under warranty, so that's not too bad. Everything that's been going on is more of a nuisance than anything else. There's nothing tragic or life-altering even. Those come seldom, thankfully, and life is made up mostly of those small things. It's these little bumps in the road that can really put us into a foul mood. And apparently, I can be a real witch when I'm in a mood, sources tell me. I'll let you guess who those sources are. Anyway, that being said, it made me think about how I need my crafting time to reset and put things in perspective. And that's this week's inspiration, taking time to enjoy the little things. I'm excited to share this card, so let's get into the video. To start off, I created an embossed detail on one side of a standard white panel by scoring the paper with a scoring board. I shifted the paper in several different directions, creating a random crisscross design. Doing something like this gives the paper a little bit more interest and stretches that use of that scoring board. You can also create broken lines as well rather than just completed ones. After scoring the paper, I went ahead and trimmed all the cardstock I needed for this project. I trimmed the embossed panel by 1/2 inch from the top and the side so that it measured 5 by 3 3/4 inches. Next, I trimmed a piece of Dollar Tree gold cardstock to frame the white cardstock and be slightly larger than it. Lastly, I trimmed a piece of Dollar Tree pattern cardstock into a standard size panel for my card base. I took the trimmed embossed panel and added my greeting to it. I stamped the sentiment, enjoying the little things, from one of the Dollar Tree stamp sets in VersaMark ink after pre-treating the area with an anti-static tool. I then applied gold embossing powder to the wet ink and heat set it with my heat tool. Next, using black pigment ink, I stamped 3 butterflies from that same set. I placed the butterfly low in my platform so that I could slide the panel I was stamping on without having to move the stamp. When I was done, I applied clear embossing powder to the wet ink and heat set it with my heat tool as I did before. To add color to the butterflies, I used some Prang watercolors that I had found at the Dollar Tree as well. Now, I'm not a professional watercolorist in any sense of the word, and I'm not claiming anything I do is the right quote-unquote thing to do. These are student-grade watercolors that are adequate for $1.25. They are not Winsor & Newton or Daniel Smith or Schmickel-Hordem. They are a basic set with 15 colors that cost $1.25. I think kids will love them, and adults wanting to play with watercolors for recreational uses will have a great time doing so. Would I make cards with them? Absolutely. Would I paint a masterpiece and sell at a gallery for thousands? Probably not. Although if you could get away with it, more power to you. The set comes in a sturdy case, which is compact and great for on the go. The only thing I didn't really care for is the brush. It's a little wonky, so if you are interested in this set, you may want to bring your own brush. It's a decent little set. I remember using Prang in schools as a kid, so it's a company that's been around for a while. Again, it's a basic set that I think for $1.25 is actually a pretty good buy. As for how I used them in this project, I used my laminated cardstock as my work surface and a makeshift palette. I applied the colors I used with a water brush, although I didn't really use it in the traditional sense. I used it as a regular brush, dipping it into a cup of water as I went. I did a quick wet-on-wet technique, letting the colors really interact with each other, and only adding more paint to deepen the tone. For the first butterfly, I used a red and purple combination, making the tips a redder color and then blending it into the purple across the body of the wing. Next, I used a blue and green combination, this time making the tips of the wings blue and then blending into a blue-green. The final butterfly, I reversed the order of the first, applying the purple to the tip and then making the wing more red. When I was done, I set the butterflies aside to dry and moved on to putting the rest of the card together. I attached the patterned cardstock to a white card base using liquid glue. I then added the gold piece behind my greeting panel, also with liquid glue. I wiped any of the glue that seeped out from underneath the white panel onto the gold frame using a damp cloth. I then attached the frame greeting to the front of the card using a combination of liquid glue and foam tape. Before adding my butterflies to the front of the card, I decorated them with a white gel pen by adding dots to the wings. Once I had the dots done, I attached the butterflies to the front of the card using 1mm thick foam squares. Lastly, I added some gold pearls to the front of the card for some extra shine. And that's it for this card. This card really fits in with the newer butterfly products I've seen being released by a number of companies recently. It's nice to know that you can create something using inexpensive supplies and still look like you spend a fortune. Those butterflies came out particularly pretty, and in general, I really enjoyed using the Dollar Tree stamp sets and the watercolors. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you stopping by for some crafting fun with me. I hope you enjoyed this project as much as I did sharing it with you. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and please leave me those comments. I'm always excited to hear what you have to say. I hope you'll join me next time for another project. Until then, have an amazing week, and I hope life treats you kindly. Take care. Bye.